Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. The topic for today would be on the digital supply chain analytics. We'll be discussing on how using AI and ML, we will be able to resolve out of stock issues. Before I begin, some of the general guidelines. We would have a Q&A session following the presentation in case if we run out of time, or if you have any questions which you think of, you could also send it to info@acuvate.com or follow us at the LinkedIn handle of @Acuvate. I'm going to be the presenter for today's webinar. I am Shanavas. I lead the data and analytics practice for Acuvate. I've been in the industry working with CPG, oil and gas, government companies, and in the banking and financial services sector, building large data warehouses, data visualization solutions, and working on the data science part. Agenda for today's session would be a brief introduction of what Acuvate as a company does. We will discuss on out of stock, the cause and impact of out of stock, how data insights could help you resolve out of stock issues. We will look at some of the self-service analytics dashboards we have around out of stock analysis, and also a case study of using AI for resolving out of stock issues, followed by Q&A. Acuvate as a company has been in the industry for close to 14 plus years now. We have been working with 100 plus clients, delivering BI analytics solutions, digital solutions, and also SharePoint implementations. We have been working in various domains, including CPG, oil and gas, government sector, banking and financial services. Acuvate's focus has been to accelerate customers' digital transformation journey with AI. We do this using our IP-based solutions, which are more like accelerators, which would help you hit the ground in weeks instead of months. Our technology focus on bots, machine learning, data and analytics, SharePoint drives this acceleration of digital transformation. We, as an organization, has been working on the philosophy of Agile and DevOps. What we do, we have been working with large enterprises building their enterprise chatbot solutions. On data and analytics side, we work on data management, data visualization, and decision science, where we work on prescriptive and predictive analytics. We focus on migration and modernization. It could be solutions which you currently have on premise, which you would want to migrate to the cloud, or it could be legacy systems which you want to have it updated to the latest versions. We will be able to help you with that. And we have enabled organizations on improving their automation solutions using cognitive RPA. which complements the enterprise chatbot solution, which is BotCore. Moving on to today's topic of using AI and ML for out of stock. Now, with the current situation we are in, we have seen that most of the supply chains have been affected in the past over a period of almost close to a year now. And we are seeing that there is this hammer and dam situation where some of the countries are going into the second phase of lockdowns, which is again affecting the supply chain. And also we are seeing situations where we have out of stock. So traditionally, consumers have been facing these out of stock situations, right? So me as a customer, if I happen to visit stores, be it food stores or drug or mass mechanized stores, there is a higher probability that 1 out of 5 times I would encounter a situation where the stock I'm looking for or the particular product I'm looking for is not available on the shelf for me to pick up. So out of stock is a situation where I'm looking for a certain SKU or certain brand, and I'm not able to get it from the store where I'm looking at when I would need it the most. Because of this, we have seen and research shows that CPG companies and retailers lose close to $1 trillion in sales. And out of stock situations do not just happen due to empty shelves. There are other situations which would lead to a out of stock situation. It could be like when I need help about a product or brand, I might not be finding the person who could help me with that, or it could be, say, the staff might be available, but I don't have the merchandise what I'm looking for, or I have the product on the shelf, but I could get the same product at some other place for a better price. So the price did not match to what I saw, say, online or what I saw in the advertisement. So all of these are situations which could lead a customer to go away from the store without buying the product. So it is similar to an out of stock situation. The impact of an out of stock situation is one, um, where we have a sales loss. So retailers and CPG companies face a sales loss of close to 1 trillion USD every year for not having the right SKUs in the shelf when a customer or consumer comes looking for it. So one of the effects is, say, with the pandemic having driven us to be digital, where we are looking out for buying things using e-commerce portal. It is more essential now that I have all of my SKUs available within the store as well as in the e-commerce platforms, so that shoppers could come, see, and then buy it. If I don't have it on shelf when people are looking for it, I tend to either look for a substitute brand, or I could go away to another store to purchase the same item. So this would reduce the digital traffic in the longer run. It could make the customers to move away from being loyal customers. We would lose on customers who are being loyal for us for a longer period of time. And there is a higher impact on order fulfillment as well, where if the products are not replenished within a given time and on time in an in full basis, those are most likely to be substituted with other products. And substitution is not always the right outcome because it could cause the customers to buy the items from other stores, or it could cause the customers to switch to some other brand which they might stick on to. And there are other costs associated with, say, I would have to order more safety stock, which has a higher financial impact. And for those items which are perishable, or those items which have a, a lesser expiry date, the financial impact of it is higher because of these stock out situations, right? And so when we have these kind of repeated stockout situations, retailers also tend to move away from planning for their inventory management. Instead, they become reactive. They tend to get into the habit of being reactive, where they fill in the products only when they go out of stock. So those are the impact we have seen due to out of stock, or stocks not being available on shelf when it is needed by the customers when they need it on time. There are financial losses, and as well as there is a tendency for consumers to move away from uh, being loyal customers. So what does, or what causes these out of stock, right? The major reason we have seen working with the CPG companies as well as retailers and market research firms is that the single largest reason is having imprecise demand forecast. Almost 50% of out of stock situations happen because of having a lower accuracy on the demand forecast. And we have also seen that the demand forecast accuracy takes a beating, uh, where it's more like a chicken and egg story, where we have out of stock situations which could reduce the accuracy of demand forecast. And when we have a lower accuracy of demand forecast, then that tends to again alleviate the problem of out of stocks. The other reason is inaccurate data management. There are various reasons why the data quality is not that fantastic, which leads to out of stock situation, right? One, the retailer themselves might not be proactive in capturing out of stock situations. Number two, even if they are capturing it, they might not be sharing that kind of data with the uh, the manufacturers or the CPG companies to take a look, and then to have their supply chain fixed so they have a good on time in full. And the third aspect where we have seen data quality is an issue is around, say, I have different applications and all of it is sitting in silos. They don't talk to each other. So if my supply chain is not a connected supply chain where I would be able to get data from all of these various sources and then get insights out of it, most likely we would be having data which is siloed, and the data quality would not be of great use, which would in turn lead to out of stock situations. Then we have been using perpetual inventory for monitoring out of stock data. It could be, say, we have the POS data, which we tend to use for finding out where we have out of stock, right? Though at a particular store level, it would give me a picture as to what are the items that are not currently available in the store. It does not give me a picture as to whether these items are actually on the shelf or not. And this leads to almost a reduction in 50% of the accuracy of the data. Then we would have inappropriate shelf space allocation. See, a lot of these shelf space allocation or store location data is unstructured data. Not many of these retailers or CPG companies look at the unstructured data to have appropriate allocation of shelf space, which again causes an out of stock. The other aspect is planogram compliance. So for items which are highly moving, we tend to have a high planogram compliance. But when it comes to SKUs which are low moving stock, there is no complete visibility on the data of when these items go out of stock and what are the trends around it, right? So the retailers themselves might not be capturing the data around it. And then the last cog of it, though we talk about AI and supply chain having digital supply chain, most of the inventory management process even today is a high touch process where we have the people process and technology working together. And when there are people involved, when there is manual process that is involved, it tends to have a lower accuracy, and then it increases the chance of being having the SKUs not available on the shelf, causing out of stock situations. So broadly, these are the reasons which influences out of stock, and we could address each of these problems using AI and machine learning. I would touch upon two of these cases today, which we have worked on. One is around how we could use machine learning for improving the demand forecast accuracy, as well as to look at, say, the SKU assortment and how it could help with improving the out of stock using the data visuals which we have built, right? So why is the accuracy of the demand so low, right? So most of the CPG companies tend to use ERP systems for their demand planning as well as for their demand forecasting, right? We currently work with a large CPG company um, on, on their supply chain of things, and they use one of the ERP systems, and the accuracy of the demand forecast tends to be around 30 to 40%. And research shows that the demand forecast at the market level is only close to 50% of accuracy that has been achieved, unless otherwise there is connected as well as cognitive supply chain implemented by these enterprises. To add to that, there is a technical complexity or challenge which the enterprises face, right? So I have to forecast the demand based on the historical data, where we tend to extrapolate the data based on uh, the historical demand we have seen, without considering other parameters, right, which itself is quite complex, and it is not accurate. The other option is to use time series data by augmenting it with other factors like, say, weather related data, or it could be social chatter data, all of it. And time series itself has so many models, uh, and it tends to be quite complex to figure out all of the parameters that would affect demand, and to accurately find a model that would work, right? And to this problem, there is constant change in the market conditions. One of the market condition change has been the recent outbreak of coronavirus, or the COVID-19. So this has had a drastic impact on the demand forecast initially when the outbreak happened. And same way, there could be restrictions around movement of people, or there could be regulations which would change the demand, or it could be, say, one of my competitors has introduced a new product, or it could be we are introducing a new product that has a halo effect, or it has a cannibalization effect. So all of these also play a part when it comes to challenges around demand forecasting. The last one is around scale, right? We have been working with a customer for their demand forecasting. We did it for one of the SKUs, and when the model had to scale to other SKUs, we saw that the accuracy of the demand forecast model tends to drop, right? So, and also when we productionize these models, when there is more data coming in, there is a challenge as to what could be the accuracy of these models. So in the recent past, we have been seeing that with introduction of advanced technologies like automation learning, majority of these problems tend to get elevated, and we are able to improve the forecast accuracy, right? Before I get into the details, I just want to talk about what is automation learning, right? So automation learning has four parts to it, and we have different tools for doing automation learning. And it enables the business users themselves to run different kind of machine learning algorithms. The business users do not have uh, to have a greater understanding of each of these models or what these models do behind the scenes, right? So, and also, when I was talking about the challenges for demand forecasting, one of the challenges is time series modeling is so complex. So which model should I pick for my demand forecasting has been a key challenge. That problem is solved by using automation learning. Today, me as a business user, all I have to just decide what is the problem I have in hand, and at a very high level, I just need to understand what kind of problem it is. Is it a regression problem or is it a classification problem? And then I just have to click on a few buttons and tell the tool, say whether I want to finish the model quicker or I want the model to run, say the AutoML to run multiple models and then suggest me a model that has a higher accuracy. Right. So all of this could be done from within a single tool, right? And it has the ability to do one auto feature engineering. A critical part of machine learning is to understand how much of data we have to use, right? What is the lag period which we have to go historically to have a higher accuracy. Um, that decision takes a lot of time, and the key aspect of a machine learning algorithm is to find what are all the parameters that has to go into the model that would improve the accuracy, right? So generally, data scientists tend to spend a lot of time on this. With automation learning and its auto feature engineering capabilities, the time that is needed for identifying the features which would have a higher impact on the accuracy is way lesser than someone who has to manually do it. The other aspect is when we work with data, in the data itself, there would be components like seasonality, stationarity, or it could be we will have to transform the data to a log transform, etc., so that we can reduce the time it takes for the machine learning algorithm to run, and also to transform the data in a way which the models could understand, right? So this is also taken care by the automation learning the tools what we have. The third aspect is backtesting of the model that gets generated. So the tools which are available in the market are time aware. They have the capability to partition the data. They could look at the entire data set and then intelligently partition the data. It can validate the outcome of the models. It has various strategies for auto backtesting and fitting the model for the most recent data. The last aspect is where it could loop through a lot of algorithms on its own. It could be ensemble models where we would have combinations of the time series models it could look at, and it would calculate the accuracy using the area under the curve, and it would be able to suggest what is the most accurate model which we can use for demand forecasting, which would have a higher accuracy. So I would just want to quickly switch to one such tool which could do automation learning. And also I would want you to walk through how the output of that model can be used for out of stock analysis. So Power BI comes with an automation learning feature where all I have to do is bring in the data as a data flow inside of Power BI. And once I choose the data that has to be predicted, I would have the option. Actually, Power BI itself would suggest whether we have to use a regression model or we could go with a classification model. So here, all I have to do is pick on, say, the model what I want to run with. In this case, we are talking about time series. So I would pick on a regression model, and it would give me the option to pick and choose the data I would want to study. I could pick that, and then here I could define the time. It could run the automation learning algorithm, right? So I could have it as uh, low as 5 minutes, or it could go on for say 360 minutes. So when we have a complex machine learning problem or a complex data problem to solve, that is where we could use the higher end of the spectrum. It would loop through all of the possible or all of the available algorithms within machine learning, and we tend to have a model with a higher accuracy when we have the training time increased on the higher side. So once I define all of these parameters, all I have to do is just click on save and train. It picks up, or as I said, it partitions the data intelligently to use it for training the model and also testing the model. Once we have the training done, we get a report on the details of the training of the model. So here we see what are how many sample rows were picked up, how many of that was used for training, and how many of it was used for say testing the model. And it also shows me the model which has a higher accuracy, and the number of iterations it took to come up with the recommendation for the model. And it would use this model to do the prediction what we wanted to do, and that would come as an output data set which we can use to build our own Power BI dashboards for getting higher or greater insights. So yeah, this report also shows the various models that were run, and what is the accuracy, the learning rate, what are the weightage of each of these models that were run using automation learning. We also have the accuracy report for the models for all of the models that were trained using AutoML, and we can also look at the performance of the model. So once we have this trained, the output comes in as a data set on which we could build a report which looks something similar to this. So here, this is an out of stock report. Basically, we have classified all of the available SKUs into different categories, right? Like, say, there could be SKUs which are high on business value, and at the same time, they might have high velocity. There could be SKUs which are just now coming in. So those are put in under a phase-in category. There could be SKUs which have a low value and a demand for it is quite stable, right? So this labeling is done by an ML algorithm. It uses a combination of supervised and unsupervised learning. It started off with we telling which SKUs fall under which category, and then the ML algorithm was able to pull out and then apply the same algorithm to all other SKUs and have or create a SKU assortment based on the business value as well as the demand each of those SKUs have, right? So this is the output of the AutoML algorithm where we have the SKUs classified, and we can look at the out of stock dollar amount based on the forecast bias, or I could look at it based on the inventory level. If the inventory level is high, what is the out of stock dollar amount? If it is medium, what is the out of stock dollar amount? And in here, we also have a visual which tells me what causes or what influences out of stock, right? Based on the SKU assortment, what we have done, it's telling me that a SKU which is of high value, high velocity would be tending to have a higher out of stock, right? And we also have things like, say, if the forecast accuracy is below 50%, which is the case in most of the enterprises today, could cause out of stock. So we can use data to analyze what could cause these out of stock situation using machine learning. And when we have the SKU assortment done, it would also give us what is the risk factor that would lead to out of stock. So for each of the factors being, say, forecast accuracy being less than 50%, or if the SKU is classified as high velocity and uh, high value, what is the risk factor? So some of it have a positive risk factor, and some of it have a lower risk factor, which contributes to my overall risk score. And we could also do a detailed out of stock analysis from here. say based on the data what we have, we can identify or categorize uh, the lost dollars as high, low, medium, and the skews based on the demand has been classified as high, low, medium. So all of these come out of clustering algorithms which run in the AutoML, right? So here we have a case where say we have plotted the lost dollars against the on-shelf availability of each of these brands or categories on the weekday. So I'm interested to look at what is causing high lost dollar for products which have a high velocity, where the out of stock level is very high. And we also have a slicer which says what is the reason for out of stock. So I would want to look at products which are in transit, which are high velocity, where the lost dollars is high and where the out of stock level is high, right? So there tends to be two categories, or the small categories which is causing the high loss dollars, and the body wash seems to have a high velocity on Tuesday and Monday, whereas the other soap bar tends to have a high velocity on Wednesday, Thursday, and Monday. So we have to ensure that these products are on the shelf during these days. So if we can ensure that, then we would be able to reduce the out of stock situation and also improve the lost dollars, or reduce the lost dollars due to these out of stock situations. Right. So briefly, this is what machine learning algorithms and self-service analytics can do to help us uh, resolve these out of stock situations. I uh, I just want to quickly touch upon another AI case study which we have, which could improve on out of stock situation, right? So traditionally, in a retail store, for resolving these out of stock situations, we have been relying on the RFID devices, or we would rely on, say, cameras to monitor the data, or we could be relying on people. Each of these approaches has its own cons, right? So with RFID, I could either do active tracking or passive tracking. With active tracking, there has to be someone who has to manually keep scanning each of these RFID tags on the items. And with passive tracking, the issue what we have seen is around, again, the accuracy of the data, which leads to reduction in accuracy of the demand forecast, and increases the problem of out of stock. And also the RFID technology has tends to be on the higher side when it comes to cost, especially for those items which have high velocity. The other approach which retailers tend to take is to use camera with cheaper cameras with good resolution available. And also when we use cameras, It could also be used for surveillance or security purpose, right? But the caveat to this is we would always need to have someone uh, monitoring the current stock situation, and that's not the ideal way of doing it because we tend to have manual errors or processes which might not work out, right? Then the third approach is where we have people go to each of these aisles and then take stock manually, right? So one of the issues with this approach is competency. It is hard to train people, and we would have limited number of people in a retail store environment. So it is difficult to scale this approach, and also we would be wasting a lot of the time of these resources. So all of these approaches tend to have its own downside or risk, right? So that's where we could have an AI-enabled solution which can say monitor or continuously monitor the out of stock situation. It could be say a camera which is connected to a cognitive vision API, and that could be sending the images it captures to an ML model, which analyzes whether the stock is available at that point of time or not. And if it is not available, it would generate real-time alerts, right? So in Azure, we have this ability to monitor out of stock situations in real time, where we could have cameras we could have a camera that could uh, capture all of these images about the shelf or the planogram details, and it could constantly send out these images after cropping it without affecting the resolution to a, ML model, which would then inference data from the image that has been sent, and then decide whether it has to trigger an alert or not. And all of this data would also be available in, say, a data lake or in a data mart, to which we could have Power BI connected, which would be able to give us both uh, historical data about out of stock situations, as well as to monitor it on a real time basis, right? So this is one of the case studies around retail, where we could use capability of AI to continuously monitor the on-shelf availability and have it resolved using AI. So yeah, to conclude, we have seen what has been the impact of out of stock on the enterprises. We also discussed on what are the causes for these out of stock situations. It was around how I can improve the accuracy of my demand forecast using machine learning algorithms, or it could be identifying the 20% of the SKUs which give me the 80% of the business using machine learning to have the SKU assortment done. And all of this we could do it using automation learning, where I don't have to have the business to understand deeper into any of these models. And also we could use things like cognitive vision to constantly monitor the on-shelf availability of the brands, which can be visualized using self-service analytics in Power BI, and it could also trigger alerts to the users for to the retailers to have the stock replenished, so that we do not lose that 1 trillion sales which we have every year. So that concludes the webinar for today. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to info@acuvate.com. Thank you all for joining today's webinar. Hope you found the session useful.